Alright, got an srt4. E-brake doesn't catch at all. Goes the whole way up. Alright, so we're going to see what we got to do to adjust it. We've already got the wheel removed. What we need to do is remove the caliper now. This is a 10mm bolt. Holds them in place. It's actually a disc drum setup. There's drum brakes inside of here that work for your e-brake. A little bit of a pull, kind of compresses the caliper a little bit. Get slide the brake off, get it out of the way. Alright, see? Now your drum doesn't want to come off. So push back just a little bit. Want to whack it with a hammer. Here. See? Breaks the rotor loose, the rust and everything else is going on inside there. Alright. Now we can actually see what's going on with our e-brakes here. This one actually has the e-brake shoes are disintegrated. There is no e-brake shoes on either side here. Normally, if you wanted to, let's say, just adjust the e-brake, there's actually an access hole right down in here, which you may be able to see from the back. The light's pretty bad. Okay, there's a little rubber bushing right here. You can take this out and you just rotate this right here and that'll spread your shoes out. We thought this was going to be something easy, but we're actually going to do a replacement of the e-brake shoes. Okay, so we went and we got replacement shoes for the brakes, and we picked up a set of new rotors from inside. Okay, we're going to actually remove the shoes now and get everything to the point where we can actually have something that works. And these are never fun. Never. Okay, this one side. All I'm doing is I'm pressing in there. There's a pin that comes through, and you have to turn it so that it goes through the keyway. Oop. I don't know if you can see if it's keyed or not. A little pin slides through right here, like this. The back, it works as a spring clip. Now that we got those removed, then here's the next thing. See what kind of fun this is. The adjuster, it's right here, turns in and out. That's what spreads the shoes, gives you more pressure on your brakes. Looks like fun, doesn't it? Fight that stuff off of there any way you can. I'm sure there's better ways to do it, but this is what we got. Okay. We have both setting here with our shoes setting down here, and that just makes it easier because then you can see how to take everything off the way that it was. And even with more complicated normal disc brakes as like your primary brake instead of it just being an e-brake, makes it a lot easier to get all the springs back in place. But there's not that many springs with this setup, so we just kind of transfer it over and go from there. Okay, so now I went through the problems of getting the upper spring in to the new shoes. We started on this side, got everything forced around. It was a mess, so we didn't really need to show that. Now we're going to try to get the lower part in here with your adjuster and the spring that goes in behind. Now we got the spring in place. Alright, now that we got the lower spring back in the way it needs to be, we're going to install our adjuster that actually controls the pressure here. Get it up into its slotted area. Just like that. You want the adjuster going to the back because of the location of the access hole. That way you can adjust it. There's a little rubber grommet in there you can take out. Now, what we need to do is we need to reinstall the spring clips that hold the brake shoes in place with the pin and there's that. Take our wonderful clip, slide that over top, get it pushed through. Turn it in the back with our fingers. Right. This over. Pull this out. Right there. So that one's here. Install this spring clip here. Turn this the right way, get it through the hole, press the spring clip, spin that around. Okay. Alright. Everything's installed the way it needs to be now. There's our old right there. There's our new shoes. There's our new rotor. We're going to use a brake cleaner right off the inside and the back of the rotor. Which anything will work for that. I mean, you could use soap and water, Dawn, anything that breaks up oil. Okay, see here, our rotor fits a little loose. It's lumpy like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to get it here and we're going to spread this open with the adjuster. I'm moving it with the screwdriver. And just the wrong way. I'm going to come towards yourself here. Okay, we spread that out pretty good. We're going to try to see how our rotor fits. Still fits good and loose, spins easy, no resistance. What you want to do is you want to keep adjusting that up to the point where it's actually starting to grab. Okay, we did a little bit more adjustment, we brought it out. The rotor is now not shaking around as much. If we spin it, you can hear the e-brake's just starting to make a little bit of contact. So that will make this side done because we're adjusted up to where we need to be. I'm going to turn in here for some runoff. Back the camera away so we don't get any splash from this stuff. Just going to rinse the rotor off, dirt, grease, storage oil and everything. Alright. Reinstall. Brake pads were fine. You should replace them though if you're taking everything apart and you're putting new rotors on, but at the time this is what needed to be done, so this is how it's being done. Alright, let's reassemble. And we're off to the other side. Okay, quick recap. Checking out your e-brakes and your back brakes at the same time. You want to remove the wheel, obviously after you have the vehicle jacked up. There's 2 bolts. Back of the caliper, should be a 10mm. Remove both of those bolts. I pull on the caliper a little bit, compresses it some, makes it so you can slide it off. Just flip that around, look at both your brake shoes. Your rotor, sometimes it gets seized on, you want to hit it with a hammer. Here in the middle, without hitting any of the studs, messing up threads, that makes a bad thing. Makes it so you can slide this off here, okay? We're going to inspect that, pretty nasty, pretty ugly, rusted up. This side actually has good brake shoes, and we're going to remove and replace them. We do both sides in pairs. Okay, now that everything's reassembled, you want to install your wheel. Okay, now that that's done, we're going to come over here. Since we had the calipers compressed, we're going to pump up our brakes, put them where they need to be, in case so when we do start, we do have brake pedal. And now we're going to pull up on our e-brake, and right about there should be more than sufficient enough to stop the car. But we have a whole bunch extra. So there you go. It's about where you want it to grab. It could seat in, and then you can go back and readjust through the holes without removing the wheels. And that concludes our nice little video.